resurrection of Jesus, how do we know it actually happened? So I talked in another video about how we actually can't prove anything when it comes to history because then we would need empirical evidence and you can't put history in a test tube. So instead, we're looking to find the explanation that is most probable. So in the case of Jesus, one thing historians don't argue about is that there was an empty tomb. So now we're left trying to find the most probable explanation for the fact that there was an empty tomb. I'm going to go through some of the most popular theories as to why the tomb was empty and let you come to the conclusion about what you think actually happened. So obviously you have the theory that Jesus actually rose from the dead like the Bible said. People are obviously skeptical that Jesus actually rose from the dead because that's impossible. But if Jesus was actually God like he claimed, nothing is impossible for God. So a resurrection isn't that crazy to believe if you believe in God. The swoon theory. This theory states that Jesus didn't actually die on the cross but actually passed out, and then when he was brought back to the tomb, he woke up. The problem with this is that the Romans were extremely good at crucifixion. If someone didn't die on the cross, the Roman guard in charge of that criminal would die themselves. In fact, the Journal of the American Medical Association published an article stating that Jesus was dead. Another theory is the stolen body theory. This one claims that the disciples stole the body of Jesus out of the tomb and then lied about Jesus' resurrection. The problem with this is that nobody dies for something that they know is a lie. And many of the disciples of Jesus, such as Peter and James, were actually martyred for their faith. So if the disciples were lying, don't you think they would have admitted that right before they're about to be killed for their beliefs? Then there's the twin theory. I'm sure you can guess what this is. Basically that Jesus actually had a twin brother, and that brother either died on the cross on behalf of Jesus or that he posed as Jesus resurrected. And finally, this is the most popular theory amongst skeptics. This is the hallucination theory. This theory states that those who saw the resurrected Jesus were actually just hallucinating. Now, this mass hallucination comes from the statement that Paul has that there are over 500 people that saw Jesus at one time. The issue with this, scientifically speaking, is that mass hallucinations do not happen. In fact, one medical professional said that a mass hallucination is more of a miracle than Jesus actually rising from the dead. Furthermore, this theory actually gives no explanation as to why there would be an empty tomb. It only tries to give an explanation for how those 500 people saw Jesus after he had been crucified. So I would actually argue that the most probable explanation for why there was an empty tomb is that Jesus actually did rise from the dead.